zoning next to their property, which is lots 19 and 20. So I heard them loud and clear, and we'll address that in just a moment. I also heard from maybe more, but specifically Councilman Reed, that, and I quote him, he says, "I do not know you very well." And so I wanted to address that tonight. And in this day of term limits, sometimes when you don't appear before council for a while, you have new faces. And so I wanted to kind of introduce myself back to council. So what you have in your packet, number one, is a list of Graham Corporation's developments in Knox County and the city of Knoxville. And I won't bore you with the details, but if you go down to the bottom, it's approximately 1.4 million square feet of retail development we've done in our community, in excess of $100 million of investment in our community. So we are extremely invested in our community. I'm a lifelong resident, a graduate of UT, and as we say, I'm not going anywhere. So hopefully I'll be before you a lot more than just this one instant. Number two packet is a list, simple flyers of these developments. And as you flip through, the first one is Merchants Town Square. Merchants Corner is the one right across the street, South Grove, etc. So that's some of our developments, all retail developments in the city or county. Thirdly, the third group that you have, it's a picture of Fountain Square that we developed in 1992. It's in Fountain City on Broadway. We like to call it the Kinko's or the Verizon building. That was one of the first, what we call street front retail that was developed in our city. And if you flip to the second page, you'll see that MPC thought it deserved an Excellence Award. So, and then as you flip on through the properties, the third picture is a picture of the old Super X on the corner of Clinton Highway and Merchants Road. And then the fourth picture is what's there now, Merchants Corner. And so you can flip on through the pictures, South Grove and other properties, and you can see the type of development that we're used to doing, which includes the new Cheddar's that's at McLean Road and on this property that's in question. In addition, you have a Blockbuster, you have a CVS drugstore. So we do good development, and that's some examples of it. Lastly, I'd like to note that and I think it was mentioned last time, our Expo building received an Orchid Award for the reuse of a big box space. So that's the second award that we've received for some of our development. The fourth is about 5 different properties, starting with Turkey Creek, that have a C4 and a C3 zoning. Turkey Creek's a pretty nice project. Mr. Turley, which we all know.
Sir, you have 1 minute left.
Okay, thank you. The next project is the Walmart Home Depot in South Knoxville, and so you have 5 projects there that are in that zone. The fifth is the letter from New Hope Baptist, Bedford Chapman, where he is okay with our C4 zoning as long as he gets his C6 next to him. And so we're agreeable to that. And then one of the last documents shows all the existing buildings that were there about 20 years ago. If you note on those 2 sheets, you'll see car lots, you'll see car repairs, sheds, block buildings, and then if you look at the last thing, if you'll look at this aerial photograph of Merchants Town Square, you'll see that none of that's there now. There's no car lots. We're a good developer. We do projects right. We're extremely invested in our projects. And lastly...
Your time is up.
Okay.
Councilwoman Palmer.
The indulgence of council, if we can give him a little additional time.
I'll say.
Okay.
Thank you.
No objection. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. I'll just tarry here a second on the last 2 exhibits, 6 and 7, that show what we've done to the property. And you can see on the corner of Merchants Road, a 1960s building. It's not there anymore. It's got a CVS drugstore. Across the street, as I mentioned earlier, is a 1960s building that's gone. It's got Merchants Corner on it. There's a vacant bank on this picture 20 years ago, or 15 years ago. It's gone. There's a Blockbuster that we're now re-tenanting. There is a former meat market, 2 car lots, a nursery, a car repair, etc. And so when you flip over to what's there now, I think our track record speaks for itself. And so, and I should note that after reviewing the SC2 zone and compared to the C4 zone, the SC2 doesn't permit hotels, doesn't permit theaters, movie theaters. It doesn't permit a library. We've had discussions in the past with the Norwood Library moving over into our property. Doesn't permit schools. Mr. Cullum just did a school in the old Kroger in Fountain City. That's going to be a good success, I believe, and is a good reuse of that box. So, and I appreciate your indulgence. I'll just finish up here. 4 points in summary. Our track record speaks for itself. Throughout the city, and specifically on this property, I challenge anyone to even suggest that Graham Corporation has ever developed any property irresponsibly or the property values have decreased. They've increased. We do good retail development. We've been doing this 30 years. We deserve to be trusted. We've earned it from the quality of our developments, from our responsibility as a corporate citizen. And finally, on a lighter note, as the great Ronald Reagan said many years ago, is Merchants Town Square better off today than it was 20 years ago? And I think he would say yes. So thank you for your time.